That's why I want everyone to think in terms of an empire, even though it's not realistic to go think of your friends as somebody lesser ranked than you. But for the sake of the mindset, I like to equate it and knowing your role. So obviously you get to be the king or the queen of your own empire, right? And in that, it's where do you fit in the totality of all of the empire, the bigger empire? Have you collaborated with somebody else's? So yes, it's knowing your role within your own little empire world. So, and I say that because the king, if I'm going to be the queen and I'm going to be married to the king, right, then I can't go to, for lack of a better word, my friends or anybody else, as I would call them, the chambermaids, right, if you were the queen, right? So these friends, not that you would ever say that in real life, but I wouldn't as the queen, like really imagine yourself as like a queen. You would not go to somebody else. You can't. You're at the top of the food chain. You cannot go to somebody else and try to get advice about how to deal with the king or talk about a problem that you and the king have had, because you have a role to keep that relationship super sacred, because the entire network is depending on the top to be strong and stable and to kind of figure it out themselves. So you can't go share those weaknesses with anyone else below you, because then it tears apart the empire. Then there's natter, there's gossip, then it goes to this side and his camp, and then it feeds back, and then they say bad things about you, and then you have conflict. You see, now me and the king have conflict, and it's even if the conflict sorted itself out between he and I, now there's all these whispers in the whisper campaign, and it comes back, which can reignite the whole thing again and cause another problem. Oh, he's whatever, fill it in. He's too strong on you. He's not fair. He's this, all the ideas that they plant in your head, and boom, you're constantly fighting. And then see, the people in your empire are the most dangerous because they can destroy the empire, right? My enemies are on the outside. I know how to plan and attack them. That's why, I think in terms of empire on so many levels in my life like this, because I have to be able to protect the us, but then everyone else has to know their role in the position of, this is your job. My executive assistant has a job. She has a job to keep me on a schedule and to get this product done and help me and facilitate and create a distraction-free environment so that I can get the work done. But she has her own empire with her husband, where she's the queen and he's the king. So, but when everyone understands the mission and can figure out how to cohesively work together for the greater purpose. So you'd have to know your purpose. In our organization, Cardone, everything Cardone Enterprises goes under, like, we want to make a difference for the better. We want to help people, whether it's in financial freedom or whether it's showing how relationships can work or restoring the value of women to society or whatever the sub-purposes are. Everyone that's on the team also believes in that mission and knows that when they are doing their role, they're contributing to the masses by their role in that purpose.
Can you explain to people why it's so important to be open-minded and to really vet people so that who's in your inner circle is more carefully guarded than who you are necessarily helping? You can help the world, but you can't do that if your inner circle has poison from within.
When you achieve success, there's people out there. First of all, you have to be willing to confront that evil exists and people want to destroy you. Like, look at history and empires, right? If there's an empire, someone wants to take over it, they want it. And, so there's that. And so why is it important? It's important because it's not an easy task. It's achievable. It's an enormous victory when you win. The rewards are tremendous, but it's not always easy. And so you have to be so on purpose and so sold on your mission, and you have to be so disciplined in order to forge forward, like you talked about, on every single day. It takes a tremendous amount of integrity and honor. And so if you're going to do that, you will fail if you are not surrounded by people who are also holding you accountable and who hold that high level of a standard. You're not going to get an empire. You're going to get mediocre. You're going to get fragile. You're going to get quicksand, an illusion. That's what that is. But the thing that I'm talking about is built on a foundation. And so you need those people around you. So why is it so important? It's so important because Because if, first of all, if I compromise my integrity and I do things that are substandard to myself, right? Then the people around me, when they do something substandard, I no longer have the wherewithal or the power to slam their ethics into place and to be able to say, knock it off. What are you doing? How can we go to this higher level? Because I'm secretly knowing what I did wrong, right? And so if I have enough of those people in there that are constantly compromising their integrity and they're surrounded by me and the king, and I allow that to happen, then I know he and I are going to drop. And then there's no way we're going to be able to accomplish these long-term goals and helping 7 billion people on the planet and defying all the odds and going for greatness and glory, because you can't achieve it if everyone is substandard. So that's why I vet everyone. I got to know who's around me. I got to know when Grant's not around me, I'm surrounded by people who are going to continue to push me. And when I'm not around Grant, he can be trusted by his circle that are going to push him to greatness and steer us and me away from our weaknesses, because, we're all just human. I'd like to, maybe go drink in a bar and flirt with guys all night once in a while, but I can't do that and be an honorable woman and feel good about myself and be married to a king and go build an empire and then have this childish behavior go on. It destroys, right? So I got to be around people who would never let me get in that environment in the first place. It's little things like that. But normal people could dismiss that and go, oh, when do you have fun in life? And why do you have to take everything so seriously? And can't you just lighten up? Or I don't want to have an empire if you're that strict, Well, that's fine. You don't have to have one. I chose to do something that's greater than just what I perceive this little physical body can do. Like, I'm really challenging myself in this lifetime to go beyond the boundaries of what I thought I could do and can I do it. So I'm willing to sacrifice, like going to get approval by hot guys in bars that think I'm hot one night. That doesn't interest me in the long term. That's detrimental to where I want to go with my life. So everyone has to look at what they're willing to do, what they're willing to take responsibility for, and then going for that. And are you willing to make a sacrifice in order to get where you want to go? Because you will have to make sacrifices. You will have to give something up. Shots in a bar. I'm from New Orleans. That is a small little sacrifice that I have to pay in order to really become the woman and the power that I want to be, that really gives me the ultimate glory. Not, oh, wow, that guy thought I was hot and I'm 48 years old. Wow, that feels good.
And you are so on point, because I always share this with my team. It's not like one massive failure is going to come into your life and ruin you. It's almost like you watch people's lives and it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? These slow and little chips that they keep taking.
Saying. A normal person could look at you and say, that's no big deal, Elena, lighten up. Well, it is a big deal to me because it compromises my integrity. And then if I allow my integrity to be compromised, I'm going to allow everyone around me to have compromised integrity. And then where are we at? And then we fall short of our goals, and that doesn't fulfill me. That brings me depression. That's what makes me tired. When I have a failed purpose in life, I get tired. When I'm actually winning and executing and like stretching the barriers, I'm happy, I'm thriving, I don't get tired. I can go endless hours and I just keep regenerating energy because I create energy. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not sucking the life out of me.